After Liberty loses on Tuesday, there are only 9 unbeatens left across college football, and we could be down to 8. After Thursday, one of those remaining unbeatens is number 3 Penn State. Looking at the schedule, it's going to be a challenge for the Nittany Lions to stay undefeated because next week they host number 4 Ohio State. But before then, they've got to travel to Madison to face a suddenly surging Wisconsin team at Camp Randall. Most sportsbooks currently have the Nittany Lions listed as 6.5-point road favorites for Saturday night. Kickoff, 7:30 Eastern on NBC and Peacock. The total for this game is 47.5. DraftKings has the lone 48 as of this recording. Otherwise, looking at the Wager Talk Live odds screen, no real movement on the side or the total here. So how should you be betting Penn State, Wisconsin? That's what I'm about to let you know. But first, if you'd be so kind to smash that thumbs up button, your support of the Wager Talk YouTube channel, very much appreciated. Keeps all this great content free of charge, okay? So Penn State is coming off a bye here. You would think that's a positive for them, but historically, it's not been great for head coach James Franklin, who is just 3-5 straight up off a bye versus Big Ten opponents. That excludes the COVID season of 2020. Now, one piece of history that bodes well for the Nittany Lions is their recent record versus Wisconsin. 5-0 straight up and against the spread the last 5 meetings. However, these schools have played just one time since 2018, and that was in 2021. For what it's worth, 4 of those last 5 meetings were decided by 7 points or less. We've already talked about how this year's Penn State team is undefeated, but lately they have not been covering spreads. In fact, they're 0-3 against the spread last 3 games. But let's note, the Lions did outgain each of those last 3 opponents, Illinois, UCLA, and USC, by somewhat comfortable margins. Of course, the last time we saw Penn State was 2 weeks ago at the Coliseum when they roared back from a double-digit deficit to defeat USC 33-30 in overtime. The Penn State passing game really got going with quarterback Drew Aller throwing for a career-best 393 yards against USC. Tyler Warren tied a FBS record for tight ends with 17 receptions, which went for 224 yards, and that's with only 1 catch after the 3rd quarter. Meanwhile, it was just the opposite for Wisconsin earlier in the year when they made their trip out to LA. They led USC by double digits at the half, only to eventually lose by 17. But since then, the Badgers, a completely different team. 3-0 straight up and against the number with a scoring margin of 117-16. Yes, they've outscored their last 3 opponents by a total of 101 points, and the defense has allowed only 1 touchdown. However, let's keep in mind, those 3 opponents were Purdue, Rutgers, and Northwestern. Quarterback Braden Locke has now made 4 starts in place of an injured Tyler Van Dyke. Locke has thrown at least 1 interception in all 4 starts, while he has completed about 60% of his passes. Few other things worth noting for this matchup. Penn State's first half scoring differential this season, it's only plus 35. It's plus 83 in the second half. Remember again, Wisconsin has only been down at the half 1 time this year. That was to Alabama, which was the game their starting quarterback got hurt, Van Dyke. Now, the Nittany Lions offense has been incredibly efficient in the red zone thus far. Scored on 26 of 28 opportunities, including 20 touchdowns. Penn State's yards per game differential, plus 208.7. Wisconsin's, plus 110.9, and that's even with the bad early losses to Alabama and USC. Assuming this line closes minus 7 or less, Penn State will be just the 5th top 5 team to close as favorites of 7 points or less twice in the same season since 2000. So odds makers, they're a little skeptical of James Franklin's team, and for good reason. Remember, they did not cover as 4-point favorites at USC. End of the day, you know me, I can't pass up the opportunity to take points with the home dog at night. Prior to this season, Wisconsin had been a home underdog only 1 time since 2016. Going back to 2001, they're 10-4 ATS as home dogs. That's the best ATS win percentage in that role in the entire country during that time. So Wisconsin plus 6.5 is my play for you today. Again, go ahead and smash that like button if you agree. Comment down below if you do not and tell me why. Or comment down below and tell me I'm right. Your choice. By the way, you won't want to miss what I've got going on this weekend in college football at wagertalk.com. In case you somehow hadn't heard, I am number 1 this season in college football at Wager Talk. That includes a white-hot 12-2, my last 14 releases. You're going to be able to get the entire Saturday card for for just $29 at wt.buzz/BP. And you don't want to miss my huge 5% NFL max bet either. Just my third 5% play this football season, just the second in NFL. The first saw the Broncos destroy the Raiders 3 weeks ago. My only 5% in college was Texas Tech over Arizona State back in September. But before you head on over to wt.buzz/BP, make sure you're subscribed to the Wage Talk YouTube channel. That way you don't miss any of this outstanding sports betting content. That's going to do it for me today. Wisconsin plus 6.5 it is. Until next time, let's cash some tickets.